What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Baseball Now podcast. I'm your host, Mason Braggins, joined by my dad, Matt. We're here live at Coors Field. We're watching the Rockies and Rays game tonight. Unfortunately, it's a little bit stormy right now, so we've found shelter somewhere. We've got a nice view of downtown right behind us, and we're going to talk the trade deadline to you guys. We're going to start with, I think, some of the most major trades happened right at the start of August.
Yeah.
There were some big trades. You had, Bo Naylor was traded, right at the end of July. So, I mean, that's kind of a big name. But we're going to start in August. We're going to talk about Luis Castillo. So he played for the Mariners. He's been a pretty solid arm for them all season long. But he's getting traded to the White Sox for Seranthony Dominguez, outfielder Nolan Jones, former Rockies player, and catcher Boston Smith. So I think this is a pretty even trade, I think, all across the board.
Yeah, I think both teams win in this one for
Absolutely.
sure.
I mean, because you have Seranthony Dominguez, who I think we've talked about a couple times in our other episodes when I do our power rankings. He's been a pretty great arm for the White Sox. And Luis Castillo, he's been fantastic for the Mariners all season. I think it's a win-win for both teams, especially the Mariners getting some outfield support as well as catching support. Now, I don't know how desperately they need it. They've kind of, after making the postseason this last season, they've kind of just been right in the middle.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe it'll be helpful for them. But I think in terms of the pitchers, I think it's a pretty even trade for both teams.
For sure. I agree with you.
Yeah. But then we get to the big one. I think this is one that shocked the world the most. Dodgers trade.
Hold up. Did it shock the world?
Maybe just the United States.
Okay.
Maybe just the United States.
So I received several text messages within 20, 30 minutes of it happening from people.
A lot of people.
Fans of all different teams.
Right. Any death threats?
No one hates it.
Okay.
There's a lot of what the heck again?
Right.
Question mark, right?
So,
Because we've done this many times in the past where we draw that star player.
Right.
I say we because I grew up a
Dodgers
Dodgers fan.
fans.
I'm still a Dodgers fan. Go Rockies. We're both here.
Right, exactly.
We're
They're not
supporting the
playing the
Rockies
Dodgers.
today. But, so I received a bunch of texts about it. It's huge. I honestly did not think we were going to pull this off.
Neither did I. I think it's, and I mean, I saw some stuff. I'm heavily on X now, because of the podcast, so I spend a lot of time just scrolling through baseball Twitter. A lot of people are furious.
For sure.
And I think, it's like baseball social media, people are always going to be mad when the Dodgers grab a top player. I mean, without a doubt. I think, it's just one of those things. I'm seeing a lot of people, one of my favorite things right now, Angry Rangers fan, if you're watching this on... And
wait, is that someone's username?
Yeah, Angry's Rangers fan is this person's username.
Okay.
Your comments about Tarek Skubal being to trade to the Dodgers are hilarious. They make
funny.
me laugh.
Yeah.
And I think Tarek Skubal, he actually said today in an interview that I think people are getting mad for no reason. The Dodgers are doing what they do best, and that's good business.
Here's the thing, though. I think, yes, Dodgers get Skubal, but what did the Dodgers trade away?
Chump change.
No.
I think it's chump. Yes, I know. Zahir Hope, one of the Dodgers' top prospects. I think he's number 15 or 25. It ends with a 5 in MLB's 100 pipeline for prospects. He's played in Double-A all season, which is why I think they're getting chump change because he's played in Double-A. But
but if you look at the potential, so the Tigers, right? That's what we're talking about here.
Yep.
They're looking towards the future. This season's not their season.
I thought they were trying to get back into playoff contention this season.
If you think about Skubal, here's what makes me nervous. I'm not sure he's a good dude. And here's why I say that.
Personality-wise?
He had an injury in the offseason. He waited until the season started to get his surgery. As a fan of baseball, no matter what team you're on, that makes me angry. It's like, dude, you knew about this.
Right.
Get it treated before you get to get paid for not working.
Right.
But with that said, I think the Tigers
came back better.
He came back better. I agree. But I think the
Tigers
Tigers
knew.
My
fantasy team.
we deal with this now, but in 3 to 5 years, we're pretty solid. I think this is a win for both teams. I would grade this trade an A+, literally, for both teams.
That's crazy because MLB and ESPN, I think they gave the Tigers a C.
I wouldn't. I think this is great for the Tigers because I think they were already mad at Skubal.
Interesting.
They knew about this injury. This was public. This was a big deal once he went to the injured list or whatever.
And I think there was also the discourse that was happening right before. Right. They took forever to give him an extension on his contract.
Yep.
Took forever.
So I think there was some interpersonal relationship problems, and then so this is good for the Tigers to get rid of that. Yes, one of the best pitchers in the league.
I mean, two-time AL Cy Young champion, reigning Cy Young champion.
Yeah. As a Dodgers fan, I love this because our starting pitching staff
It's
is
just even
just
better.
stacked.
It's just even better.
If they can stay healthy.
Yeah, when Snell and Glasnow come back, best pitching staff in all of baseball. Easily.
On paper.
Yeah.
On paper,
Well, yeah.
100%.
I think the only
Yeah.
other talking piece is that with this is how does this affect the rest of baseball?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are way too mad about it. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah,
sure,
I agree.
I think there's definitely a lot of bias of us being Dodgers fans saying that
Yep.
rest of baseball's mad about this. But really, what I think is that you look at it, a lot of other teams could have covered the $9.4 million that was left on Skubal's contract. That's
Right.
not a lot
Yeah.
of money.
So-
the Rockies could have just given him, a
Yeah.
couple of guys
Yep.
who weren't performing as well, since it looks like the Tigers were looking to get prospects anyways, considering what they gave
Yeah,
the
well,
Dodgers.
we all know the Rockies don't like to spend any kind of money, period.
Which is why I'm baffled. You could have got
Yeah.
a team like the Marlins, who I think they're in a wild card spot right now. The Marlins
Right.
are. They
Yeah.
could have given him some money. You could have Red Sox, White Sox. I think there's a lot of other teams
Lots of options, for
who
sure.
could have offered him stuff. Now, Skubal, I think it's known that Skubal's ideal destination was the Dodgers, which I think is why it happened that way.
Well, he wants to win a championship.
Right, 100%.
And
The
this
Dodgers
is a pretty good
Dodgers
chance.
is the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
place to go. I think if teams wanted to go out and get one of the best pitchers in baseball, there was the opportunity to.
Yeah.
Now, I think regardless, I think Skubal would have gone to LA because that's what he wants.
Right.
But I think a lot of teams could have been more aggressive.
For sure. The final thing I want to say about this is this brings up the Dodgers spend too much money conversation. Here's
Well-
the thing. As a Dodgers fan, I agree.
However,
This is a baseball problem. The Dodgers aren't cheating the system. So this brings up the question.
salary cap, salary floor.
Cap and salary floor. I'm a fan of both.
I'm a fan of floor for right now, just because I think cap would cause too many. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before.
Okay.
My opinions on it. I think the cap would cause too many problems with right now what the MLB looks like with
Okay.
trying to shave salaries, shave budgets from teams.
Right, but can you do like a 10-year each year? It's just a
Right,
slight.
I think that's a good idea
Yeah.
if that's what a salary cap
I do think
looks
a
like.
salary floor is necessary because you have
100%.
some of these
You have
lower market teams
Pirates,
where
Reds,
the
who won't spend
owners
money.
are billionaires making money off the teams and not spending it back
Exactly.
in. That makes me mad just as a fan of the sport. I want to see
Yeah.
every team be competitive.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
100%.
all right, we can move on. We can talk Dodgers
Yeah.
all day, but we're at Rockies. We're at Coors Field watching the Rockies tonight,
Yeah.
so we're going to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another big trade. I think actually most of the trades that happened yesterday, August 2nd. So we have Luis Garcia Jr., first baseman. I think I made a social media post about this. I think I called him an outfielder. That's
Yeah.
my bad. He plays first base.
Yep.
But he plays for the Nationals, and he's been great for them. I think
Yeah.
he's been one of their best hitters the entire season. But going to the Yankees, which is very strange considering that they have Ben Rice, who was in the home run derby,
Yeah.
one of their best players, still is their best player despite the Yankees kind of dipping downwards.
Yeah.
I think it's strange that they're trading for another first baseman when they have him, and they also have Paul Goldschmidt.
Right. Now, you also have Cody Bellinger who can play
Who
first
can play
base,
first,
but
but
he's
he's-
injured right now.
And he's
so,
been playing the outfield for
and
them
he's been
very
doing great
well.
in the outfield. He, again, as a Dodgers fan, I'm sad that he was,
Of all places. Why New York?
to go to the Yankees made me angry, but
His dad played there.
yeah, he's still love you, Cody.
We love
All
Cody.
right, we can move on. I think that's an okay trade
Yeah,
for.
well, and I think all the Nationals got in return was just for the Yankees prospects. I think this
Right.
is, I don't know how to grade this because the Yankees kind of have a solid farm system, but they kind of need it because they don't have a
They
lot of
need it.
good.
Yep.
You think Anthony Volpe and Jazz Chisholm are not working in the middle infield for this team
Right.
anymore? And sure, they only gave up 4 pitchers, part of their prospect team, but I mean, it's just. I don't really know if this is a smart move for the Yankees because they have Ben Rice, who is raking for them. Sure, he wasn't great in the home run derby, and I think collectively the team is falling off. And you have Paul Goldschmidt in the back, who's been pretty solid for
Right,
them
yeah.
as well. Sure, like very tail end of his career. He's been playing for quite a long time. I think this is a dumb move for the Yankees. I actually think it's a dumb move for both teams. I think Garcia should have stayed in Washington.
All right.
And actually, this is kind of relevant because the Rockies are playing the Rays. The Rays trading for the Mets to get Freddie Peralta. Actually, I saw Freddie Peralta today. I
Yeah.
think I was standing down very field side with a couple guys. There were a couple of card guys. If you're watching this after, I guess Monday, if you're watching this on Tuesday, which is probably when this is posted, you probably saw my story post. Freddie Peralta signing one of these guys' cards that I met. I think we're the first people to see him.
First people to see him in a Rays
I think
uniform
we're the
in
first
public.
people,
Yeah, yeah.
fans, to see him in a Rays uniform.
Yep.
I got a couple photos of him, which I might post. They aren't great photos, but I got a couple photos of him And if you saw that story post, you'll definitely go gas that up. That guy who got the Freddie Peralta card signed. I think it's an interesting move for both teams because the Rays are giving up an outfielder, a right-handed pitcher, and then a second baseman. I think they're all third string, fourth strings, or maybe just prospects. I'm not sure. I don't really know a bunch of these names. You have Aiden Smith, Gary Gilhill. What a name. And then Emilian Petre. So I'm not really sure what these names are, but I hope the change of city is good for Peralta because we know how great he was last year in his entire career that he's had with Milwaukee. One of the best pitchers in baseball. Comes to New York this season, kind of not that good. So I really hope the change of scenery is good for him. I'm rooting for him too.
Sure.
He's not pitching tonight, but tomorrow's game is still undecided for the pitcher for the Rays. So I have a feeling it's gonna be Peralta tomorrow night, or I guess tonight since we're watching on Tuesday. Exactly.
August 4th.
Exactly. And another big trade, Kevin Gausman, right-handed pitcher for the Blue Jays.
This one baffled me.
To the Cubs.
Like, Blue Jays, are you selling? Like, is that what's happening right now?
Right, exactly. I don't know. And we saw a post, reportedly that they're not really selling, they're not really buying.
Right. And there was another trade that happened.
I think today.
Yeah, trade deadline day, August 3rd. So we'll get to that. But
exactly.
Yeah, when this news came out about Gausman, I was like, what are we doing?
What's the plan?
Yeah.
Because they're getting an outfielder and an infielder in return. I think they might just both be Cubs prospects.
Yeah.
I think they are. I'm not really sure. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's interesting. I think the Cubs definitely could, if Gausman stays hot, stays good, the Cubs could definitely use it. Their starting pitching has been kind of horrible this season. It's really just their offense that has been keeping them in games. We definitely talked about them on the podcast in power rankings. They are, I think they're definitely still in the top 5 this week. I'll definitely make a post about it tomorrow for my power rankings this week. But Shota Imanaga, not in his normal season form, which is unfortunate to see. I drafted him in fantasy this season or dropped him because he was just not performing. I think if Gausman stays good, he stays hot, it's a good move for the Cubs. I don't really know how this pans out for the Blue Jays, though.
No, for the Cubs, great deal. I'm a notorious Cubs hater. I have some friends that are big Cubs fans, so I like mocking them. So when this came through, I was a little bit like, oh dang.
Yeah.
Okay, the Cubs.
Yeah.
Here you are.
And I mean, PCA, definitely having an MVP caliber season. I think really the only contention is Shohei Ohtani. But I think if Shohei doesn't pitch again, PCA gets MVP this season. I think if Shohei does not pitch again, PCA is MVP for the National League. Hands down.
Okay.
He's that good this season.
Dang. All right.
Like, offensively, better in every category than Shohei Ohtani. The only thing that keeps Shohei in the race are his pitching numbers.
Right.
But if he doesn't pitch again, PCA, I think, takes it by a landslide.
Well, and so here's a quick question. As an aside, I know this is about the trade deadline, but should the MVP consider pitching as well, since they also have the Cy Young?
Well, I think no matter what level you play at, how you play, I think it should consider all of your stats.
Just the most valuable player on a team.
Because I think for sure, at many points in MLB's history, pitchers have definitely been considered for MVP along with a Cy Young that year.
Yeah.
I think it's just more often not just goes to offensive
because you have Cy Young, you have Silver Slugger, you have Golden Glove, so you have other awards for the best.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think
it.
for sure that pitchers have been considered for MVP. I think if Shohei pitches again, if you don't look at qualifying pitchers, he has one of the best starting ERAs in the majors.
I do think he'll pitch again. Probably not until the playoffs. I think they're just going to let it rest, especially with this new acquisition of Skubal.
Which is fair, which I think disqualifies from MVP if he doesn't pitch the regular season anymore.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't qualify, I think that's the thing. If he doesn't qualify for
Crow Armstrong gets it.
I think PCA easily takes MVP.
You heard it here, guys. Locked in. Baseball Now podcast, Crow Armstrong.
We'll move on to trades that happened today. A lot.
I
was at work, so if you saw my social media post on August 3rd, you saw me. I made a post this morning. I was like, I won't be making any social media posts. I wanted to, but I was at work. But so I was getting notifications on my watch all day. A lot of crazy trades happening. Yeah. We'll start with Ben Rortvedt coming back to the Dodgers.
Dude, okay.
Let's go. Benny Biceps is back. I love this guy. I like him more than Dalton Rushing.
I can't stand Dalton Rushing, so I'm really excited to get another pretty good catcher.
And he was solid.
He was solid for us last year. I was actually surprised to hear about this one.
Right.
But happy he's back on.
Well, because he was sitting behind as fourth string in AAA for the Mets. They had
which is baffling to me.
I know, because he has great potential. He was with the Reds, and then aside, I think I talked about this in one of our episodes from last season. Dodgers DFA him at the end of the postseason
Right.
after we win the World Series. Gets picked up by the Reds. Not even 3 days later, the Reds DFA him, and then the Mets pick him up, and he has just sat in AAA the whole
Yeah.
season. So I'm glad the Dodgers are getting him, bringing him back up because
With Will Smith still being out, it's a great call.
and actually announced today, Dalton Rushing is on the IL.
What?
Yep.
I didn't hear this yet.
It literally, as we were walking up to record this, I get a notification on my watch, Dalton Rushing landing on the IL.
Okay.
So we're going to be starting.
So
Ben
great
Dortmund.
trade.
Yeah,
Ben's
this is great.
gonna start,
This is great
because
because we need to get. I think we already DFA'd Chucky Robinson. He was not good. I think we had
Here-
what was his name? Charlie Barnes, also not good. Eliezer Alfonso. I'm sorry, young kid. The tragedy that happened in what it was Venezuela, right?
Yep.
That's where they're
Yep.
tragic for him and his
Yeah,
family.
super sad.
He just was not that good.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Dalton Rushing, if you're watching this, listening to this, somehow hear about
Dude,
it,
clean it
you
up. Clean
you
it up.
can be a great
Clean it
MLB
up,
player
please.
anywhere in the league. You just got to get rid of the
Clean it
attitude,
up,
dude.
dude.
You're not him, but you could be if you change.
True, true.
That's all I got for
Like,
you.
don't get me wrong. I think as Dodgers fans, I love watching you in the box.
Yep.
And behind the box.
I just don't
great
like it when
defensively.
you open your mouth and when you question some of the
Show me
greatest
the time.
pitchers in MLB
Yeah.
history. Like, you're not him.
Hey! Notification just came through. Tommy M just did a 3-run home run in
In the first inning
in-
against the Cubs?
in the-
Is that what
yeah,
that?
yeah. Let's go.
All right.
Go Dodgers. But
So,
yeah,
great trade for the
yeah.
Dodgers.
Yeah, great trade.
What did they give up for this?
Chase McDermott, who right-handed pitcher.
Okay.
He spent some. I think he played a couple games for us in the
He's got
majors.
potential, yeah.
I think this is a pretty even trade considering. I think the Mets definitely need a lot of good arms.
And the Mets weren't utilizing
Yeah, exactly.
Ben, so,
I-
okay.
I think it's
Yep.
a win-win for both
Good.
of them. But also talking about Dodgers and catchers, literally a couple hours later, the Dodgers get Hunter Fiducia back
I didn't hear about this one.
from the Rays, actually.
Okay.
Which I don't, and we also got right-handed pitcher Jacob Kmatz, I think is how you say
Okay.
his last name, for IBP money, and outfielder Jack Sawinski, probably just a prospect.
Yeah,
or,
so this was kind of a, hey, we're not using these, we're not using this, let's just see what we
right,
can
exactly.
do with it.
I mean, again, both Will Smith and Dalton Rushing are injured, so getting Rourke
Yeah.
vet, and then Fiducia, who I don't know how much he played for the Dodgers last season, if at all, but I
Right.
think he's pretty solid. So I think getting both these guys back, especially when no luck behind Dalton Rushing for catching, I think these are great moves for the Dodgers.
Yep, this is good.
Let's see here. We got who else? Caleb Ferguson, Dodger legend. Not a legend, but previous Dodgers player. Was on the Reds. I don't know how long he's been there, but just going to the Cardinals
Going to
for
Cardinals.
IBB money.
That-
I just want to mention
That's one of those where the Cardinals just need to probably bolster their bench or their AAA system, but that'll be good.
Right, exactly. I think it's fine. We got, I don't know how much these names. Oh, interesting. Okay, we know Pirates and Angels trade. Pirates getting Kirby Yates, played for the Dodgers right last season, or was it 2024? He
I think it's
won or both
Yeah.
of the World Series.
Yep.
Kirby Yates was with the Dodgers, but was with the Angels. I
Yep.
think he's been pretty bad for the Angels this
Yep.
season, but this just is like a even trade. I don't really know much about Kyle Robinson, who played for the Pirates. I just saw the name Kirby Yates, and I was like, let's mention that real quick.
Angels need some help, man. They've been irrelevant for too long.
And you know,
with two of the greatest
Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
stars in like the past 20 years
Oh,
on
absolutely.
the same team, and they still failed time and time again. So
Make playoffs. And we'll
I'm
talk
hoping
about the
they-
Angels quite a bit later because
They made another trade.
They made another trade.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we'll see what happens.
Let's see what else. I want to talk about some Rockies trades that happened. Since we're here at Coors Field, let me make sure I get them in the right order here. Okay, we have got to find the names. Got to make sure I don't do this wrong. We have Victor Vodnik, who has been awful this season for the Rockies, one of the relief pitchers. I think every time I see the Rockies lose a game, comments online are like, get Victor Vodnik off my team.
100%.
Guess what? He's playing for the Marlins now in
Let's
return
go.
for infielder Connor Norby, pitcher Aiden May. So I mean, we're getting pitcher back for him. I don't know how well he's pitched for the
Yeah.
Marlins. I don't know this infielder very well, but I think just getting rid of Vodnik, I think
Yeah.
is healthy. I think it's healthy.
no longer giving the coaches an opportunity to put Vodnik in
Yeah.
is a victory for the Rockies, I think.
Absolutely, 100%. And then another Rockies trade. I think this is a great move for actually both teams.
Okay.
Brenton Doyle, center fielder, no longer with the Rockies. He's playing for the White Sox now. We're going to miss you here in Colorado,
Dude,
Doyle.
I enjoyed watching you play.
We love
Yep.
watching you play. I think just, his production last season
Yeah.
into this season was not good. And we have Cole Carrick, rookie, out in center field, who has been getting it done both offensively and
So
defensively.
is this a move on the Rocky side towards the future?
100%. 100%.
Like, do we have something to look forward to in like 4 years?
Absolutely. And I think I
just got really close to my face. I'm sorry.
And
my arm's getting tired. I'm holding the phone up. Sorry, it's shaky.
And I think along with that, what they should have done is also getting rid of the Rockies should have moved on from another outfielder who was just who's been awful. What's his name? Shoot, I gotta find him because I was like, Rockies need to get rid of this guy and look towards the future because again, another outfielder who just has not been producing for the team.
Here's the thing, though. You say they got to get rid of him. Your options are pretty limited because with contracts, you have guaranteed salaries that have to happen.
Whoa. I don't know how much I heard that really loud truck
That
just drove
saved
by.
a little extra. But with the guaranteed contracts that happen, when you say like we just need to get rid of a player,
Right.
sometimes that doesn't make sense because no other team wants them per se.
Jordan Beck, who another outfielder. I'm just like below 200 average in the games he played for the Rockies this season. Was not great last season for him. And again, Cole Carey in the outfield, Mickey Moniak, who they got from the Angels a couple seasons ago. You have Jake McCarthy in the outfield too. I think Troy Johnston can also play outfield. Like the Rockies have a lot of great young guys who can play outfield who are producing better than Brenton Doyle, who they just traded, and Jordan Beck, who I think they need to find a way to move on from him. I think Steven told me this the other day. He's what they call a quadruple A player, where he's really good in triple A, then they bring him up to the majors and he just sucks.
Steven from the Rockies Now podcast?
Yes, yeah.
Go check that one out.
Yeah, absolutely. Go listen to Rockies Now. They probably were talking about stuff. But yeah, Steven, he's been a co-host with me here a couple times. But that Brian Doyle trade, Rockies are getting a pitcher, Mason Adams. So I think it's great that the Rockies are trading for pitchers because we really need them in the bullpen if they're good. And then a shortstop, Carlos Vielma, which I think is also a good trade because Ezekiel Tofar, you look at the worst stats across him. He has the worst average, worst OPS, and worst slugging percentage for all players in the majors.
But I like him.
I like him too. Especially because he was on Venice. He played for Team Venezuela in the WBC and they won, and he played great for him. So it sucks, come back to the majors and he's not that good. So I mean, I think it's good that we're getting some shortstop, stuff behind him. But I think that should be assigned to him to shape up or ship out. Honestly, I think if we're getting some shortstop behind him, especially with other utility guys who play good baseball for the Rockies,
right?
I think the time is short for Tovar if he doesn't shape up, which might be a hot take. I'm sorry, Rockies fans. Another former Rockies player, Jeff Hoffman, who blew the game in Game 7 for the World Series. He gave up those.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Jeff Hoffman. But Blue Jays trading him to the Twins for pitcher Dason Hill, another pitcher John Klein, and second baseman Damari Pena. I've never heard of the guys. I don't really know how I feel about this trade. I don't know what this means for the Blue Jays really, because I think he kind of locked in off season. I think he's been kind of better this season, but I don't know. It might just be kind of like the hangover from the World Series where he just sold.
Yeah,
and I'm not really sure what it means for. I'm not really sure what it means for the Blue Jays. I don't really know these players from the Twins
but
either.
like you don't think that a team holds on to, like, management holds on to that type of bitterness and says, well, you blew it in the playoffs, so we're going to trade you now.
I mean, it might be part of that, where it's like you weren't good and he's kind of just been okay. It might be what it is. I haven't looked at his numbers too much because Blue Jays are not a good team this season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it might
Which
just be
is
that
weird. It's so...
After making the craziest turnaround, I think I was going to say the 2023 Orioles.
Yeah.
The Orioles made the playoffs. They didn't make it to the World Series, but they won over 100 games in 2023. And we're one of the worst teams in baseball in 2024. So,
and then you have the Blue Jays Game 7 of the World Series, and then you're just selling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting move. I don't know how I feel about it entirely. This I'm really surprised by as well. Another move from the Blue Jays. This is just a player swap. Trading Dalton Varsho, their center fielder. Side note, interesting that he's their center fielder. He has one of the worst arms in the league to play center field, so don't know why he's been there for so long.
How's his range, though? Is he fast out there?
He's a bigger dude. Bigger dude.
Right.
I think his range factor is pretty low.
Okay.
I mean, he spent some time in the Diamondbacks organization, but going to the Astros for pitcher Spencer Arrighetti, who actually, I don't know how DFAs work. I think the Astros literally DFA'd Arrighetti a week ago. But I think unless you're not picked up, like you still exist in their system, so I think or they might have moved Arrighetti to AAA. I don't remember. I saw that he was moved though.
Okay.
I think this is a really weird player swap.
Moved and then traded.
Right. because Arrighetti has been rocky the whole. Sure, he's had a couple good appearances, but he has been great for the Astros. And Varsho, I don't really know who else the Blue Jays put out unless they have a guy who's just much better, has a better range factor than Dalton Varsho. I think it could pan out for the Blue Jays if they have better guys behind Varsho that they could bring up. I'm not really sure how I feel with this. I think it's an interesting move. I think it's a better move for the Astros.
Oh, for sure.
But I don't know how this works for the Blue Jays again.
Yeah.
Another great trade, or interesting trade. Brewers and Cardinals. It's a 4-player trade, 2 from each.
Okay.
You have Dustin May. Love that guy. Shout out to Dustin May. And left-handed pitcher JoJo Romero going from the Cardinals to the Brewers for outfielders Alexander Frias and Josiah Ragsdale. I think those guys are 2 prospects from Brewers, I want to say. But Dustin May, who actually I made a post about, he pitched a complete game this season.
Yep.
Was it a shutout or was it just?
I don't think it was a shutout. But when May is on,
He
on.
is stinking. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off.
Yeah.
So I mean, you look at the straight stats for him this season, it looks like he's just okay. But I mean, he's that pitcher. When he's on, he's on. He's off, he's off. I think.
Maybe he'll thrive in a new organization.
Absolutely.
As long as he can stay healthy, of course. Yeah.
I think for him, this is a good move.
Okay.
Obviously it sucks. We had him, Dodgers organization. Was he on our 2025 roster? Or was it 2024?
I think 5. That was when he was injured the whole season.
Oh, it might have been. I think so. I think that's what it was.
So he was on the 4
Yeah.
team and he was pitching. But yeah, he's fun to watch.
Yeah,
too.
He's a great pitcher.
Yep.
Like we said, when he's on, he's on. I think it's just unfortunate. He's kind of been that way, with the injuries that he dealt with. He got Tommy John when he was with the Dodgers. I think just the injuries kind of happen that way for a player like him.
Yep.
But I hope he thrives in the Brewers, and the Brewers could really use it. They have a lot of pitching staff injury, especially for their starters. So if Dustin May, brings it together, he's kind of, if he has an average of 3 ERA, with the Brewers, I think that's good for the Brewers. I think we talking about 3 is not amazing, but it's not horrible either.
For sure.
I think if he averages that, I think it's pretty solid for the Brewers when he's been averaging 4, or I think he's been averaging 5.3 for the Cardinals this season.
And honestly, I feel like there have been more pitcher injuries this season.
A whole lot.
From big names than in years past. And so, anytime you can get a pitcher who has the potential to not get hurt this year, you pick him up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's sad to see all the teams that are struggling right now because of all the injuries.
Guess what? Speaking more pitchers, and the Rockies again, trading Antonio Senzatella, which I think as a Rockies fan, I think this is a good move.
Okay.
I think he has not been great. I don't know because he actually. Unless this is a future move, he actually has the most wins for the team.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Sorry, my mistake. Yep. He's actually been really good for the Rockies this season. So I think because the Rockies,
which isn't saying a whole lot because
right.
the pitching staff for the Rockies
right.
and really good is a
right. But I mean, the Rockies are getting a left-handed pitcher, Mark Manfredi, and shortstop Juan Martinez from the Brewers. Okay. I think it's an even trade because I think if Senzatella keeps pitching how he has in Coors in Milwaukee, I think that's a good pickup for the Brewers. Okay. I think he's a solid bullpen arm. Again, I don't think his ERA is too horrible. I don't think he's great either. But again, has the most wins for the Rockies for a pitcher just because he comes in, shuts it down, and then the offense gets a couple runs. But again, I think like we mentioned earlier with another shortstop pickup from the Rockies, I think this might be another thing where, we're getting a lot of shortstops. Tovar, I think your time is short if he doesn't lock in. Unfortunate. It hurts to say.
And the good news is, Rockies fans, Goodman did not get traded.
Yes, this is actually
Hunter remains.
Hunter
I was really nervous that we weren't going to get to see him tonight.
I had no worry whatsoever. I was like, he's not getting traded. I was fully confident he was not getting traded at this trade deadline. I don't know, just something inside me. I was like, he's fine. He's staying.
What else? What are the next?
We got another big one. Marlins and Rays. I love how many Rays trades there are because they're here.
They're here tonight.
So it's like really interesting, like how many of them are actually going to be here tonight.
Right.
But the Rays and Marlins, Rays getting Liam Hicks, Marlins catcher, first baseman. This guy's great. I think he's been on the IL since middle of June, I think, or maybe beginning of July. So he's been on the IL for a bit. I think with. I can't remember what he's injured with, but I think this is a great pickup for the Rays, especially because I think the Marlins have other catchers in their first basemen, and especially with Hicks being injured. I think them just needing to offload some stuff. But I mean, Marlins are getting infielders, Brian Taylor, Adrian Santana, and then right-handed pitcher Jacob Kisting in return.
Okay.
Again, don't know those names. They might be prospects or, just guys who switch back and forth between AAA and the majors. I think it's a good move for the Rays at the very least, getting a great name like Liam Hicks.
This has to be a weird day to be a baseball player.
100%.
Just because I feel like this year, and I don't know, maybe every year is like this, but I feel like this year especially, there were so many moves that happened, not just today, but the last couple days, that like every team is different today than they were yesterday.
100%.
And
Absolutely.
so I honestly like kind of wonder what it's like in the clubhouses tonight, where you have some big players who have been a part of a team for a long time and now they're gone. And so like,
Right.
and then this new guy comes in and is like, you're not him.
Right.
You're not that guy.
Right, exactly.
I don't know.
I think my
It's gotta be a
favorite
weird
thing
day.
is there was a doubleheader, I don't know how many years ago, but a player was traded in the middle, of the, like in between the doubleheader.
Yep.
I don't remember which teams or who it was, but I think like I imagine that's what it's like.
I just saw a clip of someone who was, and I don't know if it was this year or previous year because social media, but he was pulled mid-game because he was
I
traded.
saw that.
Did you see that?
I think that's from a couple years
Okay,
ago.
that was
Yeah, which is so
yeah.
bizarre.
And he's like just saying goodbye to everyone in
I
the
know, which is something
mid-game.
I'm like,
yeah,
why would you do that? Like, sure, business deals, but it's like, why would you do that in the middle of the game?
yeah.
I don't know.
It's-
Business
yeah,
is
it's a
business.
crazy one.
But yeah, very interesting. We also have lots of crazy things. Mets and Cubs. Cubs getting another great pitching arm. Clay Holmes from the Mets. He's been great for them this season. This is going to be fantastic for the Cubs. I'm really scared because the Dodgers are playing the Cubs this week. If they got Gossman and Holmes, who are both starting pitchers. Do either of them?
I think they're
play
both going to be
this-
pitching against the Dodgers.
Right. Do both of them start tomorrow? Or I guess today, the 4th of August. and
4th,
5th.
yeah.
Like,
What though is
in the return from the Mets was a utility guy, Jefferson Rojas, who plays third and short.
what's happening with the Mets? They have one of the highest payrolls,
Well,
and
I
they're
just-
also selling.
Like, I don't know. They're selling, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, are they looking for a rebuild? Because, like,
Right.
they made the playoffs last season, or I think they might have just been out of it. They were in the playoffs 2024. Dodgers beat them in the NLCS, but
But
it's
I mean,
like,
you don't give a contract like that to Soto for a rebuild.
I know, which is so interesting.
This doesn't seem like good.
I don't know.
management, but I
It's
don't
so
know.
weird. And so, I mean, are the Mets looking towards, like, are they hoping if they're trying to rebuild that everything gets brought back up right away in 2027?
Right.
If the 2027
Yeah,
season
they
happens.
have, I mean, they do have all the analytics that they're looking at, and so they're probably crunching numbers nonstop more than
Right.
we are. We're just reacting to these things. But it's
Exactly.
still
It's interesting because it's
it's
like
surprising. Like right now, to be a Mets fan is
it's so strange because they're not great.
anxiety-inducing. I would
Exactly.
say. Yeah.
You lost Freddie Peralta, you lost Clay Holmes. Now granted, Freddie Peralta was not great this season, but I mean, it's very strange. It's very strange. So I mean, I'm sorry for Mets fans because I'm sure this is very strange. It's strange as a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Like what are the Mets doing?
Yeah, hopefully they
More so than normally saying, what are the Mets doing?
hopefully they know what they're doing.
Hey, hopefully,
right? Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah. All right.
I think we got quite a few more, some other big names. We got Orioles and Mariners trade. Taylor Ward. I hasn't really been a talking point in quite a few years, but being traded to the Mariners from the Orioles. Orioles getting quite a few pitchers in return.
Okay.
I don't know how. I think it's a pretty even trade. Getting 3 pitchers from the Mariners for this, and Mariners getting, I think, much needed outfield support in Taylor Ward, because I think he's still a solid offensive and defensive player. Big one. We're talking about the Angels again. Angels trading Joe Adell. Crazy.
Angels, what are you doing, man?
Crazy. Joe Adell, who, mind you, robbed 3 home runs in a game earlier this season.
Where did he go?
The Guardians, who I think need the outfield support. I think they need the outfield
Okay.
support, but the Angels are getting a catcher in return. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think Angels are always trying to rebuild. I think that's just the sad case of the Angels. They're unfortunately a poverty franchise. I don't think they're.
So I used
think-
to live in California,
Right.
And I was there when the Angels had a really good run.
For like 2 years, right?
It was a little bit longer than that,
Okay.
but the whole like Rally Monkeys era of their Tim Salmon, Garrett Anderson, it was
That was
really
GA.
fun. It
That
was
was
really
GA.
fun to watch. And now they're just sad.
Yeah,
like when they
it's-
had Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, I'm like, any game could be crazy, but they never did what they needed to surround them with talent. So it's kind of like, again,
I think they're looking for another rebuild.
as a fan of the team,
another
win is enough, right?
Right.
Like that's how I feel as a Rockies fan too.
Right.
Win is enough. Like we've been rebuilding for
since 2018.
almost the entire history of the franchise.
Well, I mean,
We had a good year.
07 through 09, which were all great
Yep.
years. You 2017 and 2018. It's really it for the Rockies.
Yeah,
Some other great. Lars Nootbaar. Love this guy.
love the name too.
Plays for the Cardinals. Not anymore. Welcome to Arizona. Outfielder Lars Nootbaar for 2 pitchers and then a player to be named later. So I guess they're still working on all the
Yep.
details, but it is an official trade. I think the D-backs are still trying to figure out who exactly, specifically, they're giving away. I don't know how I feel about this because, I got Corbin Carroll, one of the fastest guys in the league, one of the best outfielders in the league. I think you look at, he's a top 3 outfielder, I think only behind PCA, wherever you put it. I think you got at number 1 PCA, and then you have Corbin Carroll at number 2 for best outfielders in the league. I think number 3 you put Andy Pages right there. I think those are the 3 best outfielders.
You would.
I would.
I'm saying Andy's a
yeah.
great outfielder. Yeah.
But I mean, Lars Nootbaar is pretty solid. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I don't know who else they have there in the outfield, but I think getting a veteran guy like him, he's been in the league for a few years.
sure.
I think will be good for the Diamondbacks. I don't know what the Cardinals are looking for with these pitchers and the unknown player.
Right.
Really. Heliot Ramos from the Giants going to the Yankees, which I think this is good for the Yankees.
Huh?
The Yankees are a hot mess. I mean, I don't know how they're still the second best team in the AL. I think they're going to get passed by the Red Sox team, especially with the Red Sox just sweeping the Dodgers. It was an ugly series. I can't believe we got swept by the Red Sox. But I think with how hot the Red Sox have been, if the Yankees keep trending downwards, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this season.
Wow.
Yeah, I like.
That's
with-
just crazy to think about.
the
too.
Yankees, not a playoff team. I think this is a good move for them because you got, who do you have now? You have Cody Bellinger, who is on the IL right now. So you got Trent Grisham, who's awful.
Judge.
Who's also injured. So they
Right.
don't have their best 2 outfielders. So I think getting Heliot Ramos from the Giants
It's a good
is
move.
good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good because he's a good
And
outfielder.
if we can deplete the Giants, as a Rockies and Dodgers fan, I want to see the rest of the NL West fail.
and the Giants are getting a pitcher and a shortstop in return. I think they're just prospects or
Okay.
AAA guys for the
Maybe.
Yankees, so I'm not too big. Another big thing, Casey Mize, Tigers fan. I'm sorry, these last few days have been hard for you. Mize going to the Padres. I hate this because Mize is a great pitcher and he's going to the Padres. I think for the Padres though, this is a good move. I think they
Yeah.
definitely need the starting pitcher support. They don't. Their starting pitching is not good this season. It's
Yeah, the Padres,
like I thought they
they're
were.
not living up to the hype that they.
No,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be another one of those seasons like it's been for the past few, where it's the Dodgers, Padres, and the NLDS kind
Yep.
of a thing. It's looking like
It might not.
It might be a Dodgers Diamondbacks NLDS. For
Which
the
is
first
weird,
time
yeah.
in almost a decade, which is kind of crazy. I think for the Padres, I think this is a good move. The Tigers are getting Cash Mayfield and Jackson Wolf, 2 left-handed pitchers in return. Padres also getting a third baseman. I think it's a win for the Padres. I think it's a lose for the Tigers, for sure.
And the big ones. I know there are like so many trades today.
This
But let's
is
do the big ones.
I think I don't remember what I thought Jose Soriano, pitcher for the Angels,
Yep.
getting traded to the Blue Jays. So I guess the Blue Jays.
That's the one that for me I'm like,
Oh, okay. So maybe they weren't.
got rid of
maybe
guys
they
that you're
weren't
picking up
selling.
Soriano.
Right.
Okay. My question to the Blue Jays is, did they already have this in the works?
Right.
So they knew it was going to happen, so it made these other trades easier.
Right, possible.
Or did they luck out?
Eh.
And they're like, oh crud, we made a big mistake. Now we got to recover.
Yeah. Now we go
Okay.
get Jose Soriano, who's
Yep.
been one of the best pitchers in the AL.
And again, you have the Angels just.
I mean, they're getting a couple utility guys and
Yep.
another pitcher. I don't really know what those guys are looking like for them,
But
but
Soriano's the name in that
yeah,
trade. for
exactly.
sure.
And
Yeah.
I might have misread this, but I thought I read, I follow MLB trade rumors
Yeah.
on X. One of my favorite accounts. Just like everything, all transactions that happen, immediately coming right to me, and I love it. It's great. I might have misread it, but I thought I saw that Jose Soriano was getting traded again. It might have been he got traded somewhere else from the Angels, and then the Blue Jays then traded for him.
Oh,
Might have been
okay.
what it was, or it might have been like a 3-team deal
Yeah,
thing.
I'll have to take a look.
I'll look into the specifics, and then actually, I'm not quite sure, but I did see that. But big name. Another big name, Padres getting Robbie Ray. Also mad about this as a Dodgers fan.
Yep.
And a
Padres
Rockies
got a
fan.
couple good ones.
But I think it's another great move for the Padres. The Padres need the pitching support coming from the Giants. So this is actually an in-division trade. And the Giants are getting right-handed pitcher Miguel Mendez, infielder Yoniel Hernandez, I think is how you say that. Again, don't know much about those guys, but Robbie Ray, the big name there. Anything to add with that one?
Within division trades
Are always
baffle
crazy.
me. I'm
Always
like, what
crazy.
are you doing, man?
Always crazy.
It's going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah, we got 2 more trades that we'll go over here,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up for today. Another Giants trade, trading Luis Arias,
Yep.
3-time reigning batting champ, and Caleb Killian to the Phillies for Ramon Marquez and Marty Guy are both right-handed pitchers. I think for the Pirates, is getting pitchers in return since they just dealt 2 away.
Yep.
I think it's
Trying
okay.
to rebuild from there.
Exactly. If
Okay.
they're good pitchers and they do good work, I think
Yep.
it's fine. For the Phillies, this is literally a no-brainer.
Yep.
However, they're moving Bryce Harper back to the outfield.
I saw that, and that
Why are you moving your franchise player?
right, and he's not as young as he once was.
Right.
Is this going to age him quicker and injure him?
Right. Luis Arias can play the outfield.
Yeah.
He not the greatest. He's more of an
Here's-
infield guy, but he can play the outfield.
Here's the thing. I bet they had this conversation first to make sure he was cool with it.
I hope they did. I hope they did. If they
As
did,
the
it's great.
franchise player, I mean,
You have to.
he's your he's the face
Right,
of the franchise.
right.
Even in the midst of like the home run derby, the camera kept panning to him, not in the home run derby,
Yeah.
just to see his reaction because
While
we know
Kyle
that
Schwarber was bad.
Yeah, because we know that he's the guy.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
yeah, that's a weird one.
It's interesting. I think it's definitely. I don't know how I feel because I don't know how these pitchers pan out for the Giants. Hard
Yeah.
to say, but I think knowing that and my limited knowledge, I think it's a win for the Phillies getting Luis Arias.
I think so.
He's not a power guy, but he gets the ball on the ground.
Yep.
He gets it in play.
Yep.
Which is why he's so good.
He's
Which
a
is
good
why
contact
which is
hitter.
why he's
Yeah.
a 3-time batting champ.
Yep.
And then the last trade. This is a big one. Orioles and Red Sox trade. This is so ridiculous. Red Sox getting Adley Rutschman, catcher, and another catcher, Jake Rogers. So they're getting 2 catchers.
Okay.
I think they really needed it. And some cash for right-handed pitchers Anthony Ayenson and Kyson Witherspoon, outfielder Andy Azokar, and then a Carlos. They're the Orioles are getting Narvaez actually.
Oh, okay.
So who actually has been really good for the Red Sox
Yeah.
as of late.
Honestly, this might be okay for the Red Sox.
I think this is a great trade
Yeah.
for the Red Sox.
Yep.
Getting one of the best catchers in the league. I think
Yeah.
if Rushman didn't get injured before the All-Star break, I think he had a chance to get it. I think I said that in the
Yep,
car
yeah.
on our way over here. I think Rushman had a good chance, to be an All-Star catcher this season.
Yep.
If he continues playing how he does, he plays better next season, definitely an All-Star. And Narvaez has been really great. He was great through the month of July, so I think the Orioles getting him back is not awful. Especially if he's splitting time with, I think his name is Belasso, their other catcher, who's been pretty
Yeah.
solid this season as well.
Yeah. Well, I hear the national anthem being played
Yeah.
or being sung on the field right now.
So I think it's about time we wrap
Yeah.
it up for this podcast. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, I guess, a bit of change of scenery. Hopefully production, I guess I'll find out
Here,
when
let's do a little turn.
Yeah.
We're in a weird spot right
Yeah,
now.
we're
But you
kinda
can see
like
there's
in
the
this-
club suites level back
Yeah.
there. But
hopefully
yeah.
when I go through this, get this uploaded, it doesn't sound too bad. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of Baseball Now. I've been Mason Braggins,
I'm Matt Braggins.
and we will see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye.